Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing, well, it's not really a speed build because I used the existing building on the lot. It's not a renovation really either. It's more like a transformation, a speed transformation. Ooh, I like that. It's a speed transformation of the Futures Past Museum into an internet cafe. Now, if you're not familiar with what an internet cafe is, it's not as commonplace here in the U.S., but in Asian countries, it's basically everywhere. They have internet cafes in all major cities, and it's essentially just a giant room slash building, just with a bunch of computers. People that don't have computers at home can come and use them, and also they've got an area where, well, some of them have an area where you can order food and eat there and all that jazz. It's a very helpful resource for a lot of people, and I wanted to create one in The Sims because I wanted to create my own kind of community lot, and I didn't want to make like a museum or a bar or a club because we got plenty of those already in the game, so I thought creating something entirely new would be fun. And an internet cafe seems like it'd be also very useful for people who don't play, like, with starting out with a bunch of money in the beginning. They start off with barely anything and they need to work their way up. So this could be a nice place to take your Sims, and they need to use the computer if they need to write, if they need to do stuff like that. So I figured it'd be a good idea to add to the game. Now, the Futures Past Museum, most people know what it is. Most people have been to it in the game, but it's pretty much useless. I don't know anyone who particularly loves taking their Sims to a museum whenever they play in their own free time. And so I figured renovating this lot into something like an internet cafe would be most useful because all the other lots are pretty much a necessary aspect to the game. And I wanted to keep its original kind of feel, its original construction. I got rid of the third floor entirely because who really needs that third floor? And I wanted to make it more modern overall because it is a modern structure, but I feel like the feeling of it is very dated in comparison to the other buildings in Oasis Springs. And so I wanted to give it like a cool color scheme, and I wanted to make it more like more of a darker tone. And so you'll see me messing around here with those orange doors, because I felt like it was a cool accent color that I wanted to add. And you see me messing around with the wall coloring, so I was going to go with a light color in the beginning, and then I mess around with this darker color, and then I think I eventually go for this kind of like light stone. I think it's this one that I go with. I'm not 100% sure, but this is I think the color that I end up putting on the inside as well. I wanted to go for these big glass doors, but I didn't want to put one on the bottom because I felt like that's where I wanted to put the workers waiting area, like a break room. And so I didn't put a door on the bottom one, but I kept them on the top. And right now I'm just putting in pillars, and I'm also messing around with the colors. In the end, I do go for this, what kind of color is that? Like an aqua blue kind of accent color, I think. Yeah, that's the color I choose to go for. I changed it back to orange for a little bit, but then I found these glass railings, and they had the blue color as well. And so I figured just going for the blue would be the best idea. And now I'm just trying to figure out how I want the structure to be. I did keep most of the construction pretty much exactly the same. I thought the design of the building was nice, but it just needed a little bit of oomph to make it look more appropriate for what I was going for. Right now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do in this little building. I wanted to put a sign out front because most community lots do have a sign, and then I found this one that came with Strangerville. I loved it. It looks so kind of a little bit rustic, but also has really cool designs on it, and that little cassette tape one was the perfect one for it. It matched the blue. It had that kind of what am I looking for? Technologic vibe? That's not what I'm, like, techno vibe, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But I really wanted to put it a little bit raised up off the ground, and this little circle platform was too big. So you see me messing with it. Eventually I delete it, and I leave it like this with just a little thingy underneath it, and I put plants in front of it so you can't see the little foundation part. But this is kind of like the finished exterior look of the building. It's very modern, very glass, very blue, and it's something that I haven't really ventured into before, but I think it's a very interesting design style, and I think it works with what I was going for more of a futuristic vibe for the cafe, but also see, in my head I was gonna go for something dated, but once I started putting down the blue and all that jazz, it just went for almost a futuristic vibe. Like, it's very reminiscent of the Sims 3 future, what is it, Into the Future pack, because they did have this blue color everywhere, and it was very much glass and very typical, like, oh, what's the world going to be like in 20 years kind of vibe. But I think it turned out pretty well. Right now I'm trying to do the outdoor landscaping. I struggled a little bit with it because I wasn't sure how I wanted to take up most of the space, because there is a lot of space outside that I have to deal with, and I didn't know how I wanted to actually, like, I knew what plants I wanted to use because I've done quite a few Oasis Springs builds in the past. And if you don't know already, I plan on like renovating all the lots and building all the lots and releasing my own save and doing all that jazz. And so I wanted to keep the cohesive style that I was already doing for, how many lots have I done on Oasis Springs? Quite a few. Am I in the double digits yet? I might be in the double digits. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know if I've posted them all, but I've done quite a few in this area. And so I had a general style idea. I just didn't know how I wanted to best translate it. And I used these plants that I used in my completely off the grid lot. And they didn't go with the style I was going for the front, but I feel like they did take up the space really well. So I was trying to figure out how I wanted to, like, did I want to go with that very modern style, or did I want to fill up the space? So I'm pretty sure I leave them. I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to be honest, I built this a long time ago. I built this a long time ago, and I've just been putting off doing the voiceover because it's a 20-minute voiceover. It's insane. How am I going to sit here and entertain you for 20 minutes? I'm trying my best, if you can't tell. I'm trying to focus on the build, but I'm really trying hard not to wander, but I'm so hungry right now, and all I can think about is eating some ramen, and I don't have any, and it's frustrating me. I'm sorry. Okay, off track. Back to the build. I was just trying to figure out how I wanted to do the exterior floor. I'm adding a little front spot because there was so much like front area, like front real estate to take up. And so I just kind of put in some rocks and filled it up with some stuff. I do put more of these plants on the side, like they were just kind of an overgrowth that the people that bought the building just didn't want to deal with. And they just let it go wild, I guess. But this is pretty much the finished landscaping outside. Oh, my stomach's about to grumble. Please don't. Please don't. It's gonna be so loud. Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, we're good. Right now, I'm just getting rid of all the interior furnishing, all the flooring, all the walls, all the what is the word? Paintings. I forgot the word paintings. I don't know what it is. I've said this in multiple voiceovers, but every time I try to like articulate myself or say a certain word in the voiceover, it just escapes my head. But whatever. Right now I'm adding a little bump out area and extending the upper floor because I wanted to have the bathrooms upstairs, and I also wanted to have this kind of like glass room area with couches so your Sims can sit down and relax and just chill instead of sitting on the computer. So it's also a hangout spot. In the beginning, I made it into, I don't remember what I made. I think it was a general lot, but whenever I went to play the game, I also put a bar in here because some, internet cafes have a bar in like areas where your Sims, not Sims, wow, okay, where real people can sit and like eat and grab a snack and grab a drink. And so to get the bar to actually have a bartender, I had to turn it into an actual bar. So whenever you put it in your game, it is classified. There's the word. It was classified as a bar. So I don't know if that's like, I don't think that's a big problem. I mean, I don't know where I'm going with this sentence either. Right now I'm just putting in more defining walls and areas so I can figure out what I want to do. That area in the front is going to be the staff lounge area. Of course, it's probably not going to be used as a lounge. It's not really in like a get-to-work fashioned building. But I just wanted to make it more realistic and make it look more like your Sims have some place to like chillax whenever they're not working. Right now, just changing up the windows. I don't like using just the big windows along one wall. I like to break it up with some smaller windows. And also I'm adding in some, well, I added in an outside staircase, and you see me adding another one right now because I wanted to make it seem like when your Sims leave work, they can go out the back door, the side door, stuff like that. Because there's a parking lot there, as you can see. And so it feels dumb not to have like alternate exits to the building off the side. So I wanted to include those as well. These are the not chairs. Those are not chairs. These are the desks I use for the entire building where all the computers sit, except I don't use them in red. I go with the blue style to like keep in line of what I was going to do on the exterior. I was going to originally just make it a giant room with a bunch of computers, but I figured the bar was the best way to go after looking up some pictures of some actual computer cafes, PC cafes. This is another word I found for it, internet cafes. And so I wanted to include those. I struggled a little bit with how I wanted to orientate it because I didn't want to take up too much space, but I also didn't want it to just be pushed off into the corner. In the end, it does end up being quite a big bar. I do mess with it quite a bit because I couldn't figure out what decorations I wanted to do because there was a lot of counter space and there's not a lot of particularly like bar decorations that I have in my own personal game because I don't own all the packs and everything like that. But I do think in the end I managed to fill it up and make it look realistic. So instead of adding that third row of tables, I just added in a third chair. Not a third chair. What am I saying? A third desk. And they all have this wall in between them, so that way they can have a separated off areas. I wish I could have put walls in between each desk because that's more true to how actual internet cafes look, but there just wasn't enough space, so I just decided that it's The Sims, no one cares. They're not going to be peeping on someone else's computer anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But to be more realistic, there would normally be like a wall in between each desk so they can have their own private area, or like a glass separator and stuff like that. But oh well, it doesn't really matter. This is the general setup of the main floor. You'll see me change the color, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. In the end, I do go for that blue because I really wanted it to match with the entire style and the outdoor furnishings as well. I put in a little like reception desk in the front because I wanted to make it seem like they come in, they buy time for the computer, or they like come in and just like, I don't know what to do in an internet cafe. Not gonna lie, I've never been to one, but I feel like they go there and they just like check in and like get a computer and assign it to themselves and stuff like that. I bet it's probably like a library. Like if you've been to a public library, you know, like you have to buy minutes like with coins or like stuff like that. Like you have to actually like pay for a certain amount of minutes, then you got to add more minutes and more coins. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. Maybe that's like public libraries in my town, but that's the way they do it. And I figured that's probably a similar style. So if like a front desk was the best way to do that. Right now, just moving more desks around. It took so long. I'm pretty sure I like developed an injury when I was doing this because there was such like small movements to move the desks. Like look at this right here. These little small movements as I was like shifting the desks around. The way my hand was positioned, I don't know what was wrong with it, but like days after, my entire arm hurt. I don't know what it was. Maybe it's like I'm using a muscle with those tiny like little tedious movements is something I haven't activated before, but God, it freaking hurt. Like, I don't know what it was. It was so weird. Oh, thinking about it now, damn. It was like a weird muscle, whatever. It was a muscle spasm type thing, but it was a bitch to deal with. But right now I'm focusing on the bar again, just trying to make it look more cohesive. As you can see, I put in so much counter space, and it was a lot. Like there wasn't a lot of decorations, and there was just a lot of space that I had to fill. In the end, I do get rid of some of the counter space and add in more actual cabinets, but I don't do that I do that in a little while. I don't do it right now. Right now I'm focusing on the reception area. I really wanted to make it look realistic and give the whatever sim is sitting there an actual spot. I did put a chair there, but it is not accessible for the computer, so your sims can't actually use that computer, but they can sit in the chair. I found that cool trick from this trick. I can't speak. That trick from, I don't know who I actually saw it from, but it's a pretty well-known Sims trick, and I wanted to incorporate that because it looks more realistic and makes it look like there's an actual staff that sits there and monitors everybody's computer time and has to, maybe it's like their after-school job or their day job and stuff like that. I don't know, but putting little decorations on there like some papers, a picture. I struggle with the chair because I wanted to put the chair there to figure out the spacing, but I also had to keep moving it for whenever I put decorations on the counter, and it was tedious. It was a task. I struggled. You'll see me move things around a lot. I do fidget with this this little front reception area quite a bit. Like I spent a lot of time just doing this little reception area because I feel like it's a very make or break statement for this area because it's a realistic aspect, and if it looks like shit, it's not going to really come off as an actual reception area. So I do spend quite a bit of time on it. I mean, way more time than I probably should have. It was really dumb. I don't know why. I was just really concerned with making it look more true to life and stuff like that. Ooh, I want Five Guys. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I just all of a sudden I'm like, a burger right now would be perfection. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm like so hungry. And this voiceover is lasting forever. I'm only like halfway done with it. Oh my God. Oh, okay. What am I doing now? Doing the upstairs seating area. I wanted to create this little nook space, but then I didn't know what to do with the rest of the seating area. And you'll see me put in just, I come back to it later. This is not how it ends up looking. Oh, I got a text. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. It's not an important text. But I didn't know what to do with the area, so I'll come back to it. But in the end, you won't see me do it. But I do add in a a TV, because the bar area, like the requirements to make it an actual working bar is that it needs to have a TV. So later on, I'll put a chair in a spot, and I'll tell you later when I actually do it. But that's where the TV will be. So your Sims probably congregate up there. But when I did test out the building, the Sims did use the computer, so it does function as an internet cafe. Sims will just come in and use the computers and sit at the bar and watch TV. So it will be fully functional. I was gonna put these lights up there, but I felt like it looked too much like too kitschy, I guess, and not. It's because like internet cafes. They're not a very, it depends on the one you go to, but the ones I saw online, some of them are decorated like that, but most of them are very kind of modern and very sparsely decorated and more, I don't know, more like just a bunch of shit thrown into a room. And so I didn't think that those really fit with the style. I put up these dividers just for kind of like a design accent, I guess. They don't really have any function, but I felt like they took up a lot of space in the room and made the computer area seem more private and less open to pretty much everybody else. I found a business card holding decoration, and I put that there, which then in turn made me have to shuffle around the reception desk again because I just can't not do that. Oh, I'm so annoying. This is me going back to the decorations. I struggled so much. It took so long to figure out what I wanted to do. And in the end, I get rid of some stuff. I put a little orange box over there, some cleaning supplies, a trash can, just to kind of take up the space and make it look more realistic. I put in a little VIP bucket, some wine. In the end, I do I keep most of that? I think I do, but I just put them in a different spot. It's not the way that they actually end up looking. You can probably feel my frustration right about now as I'm like, what the hell do I need to put here? Like, what is going to take up space that looks realistic? This is me trying to find more stuff to put in there, just kind of fully exploring the decoration catalog, because I don't think I've ever done that before. I do end up putting a lot of plants on here. Like, that's like an unhealthy amount of plants to just like be around, I guess. I mean, plants are oxygen, but like that's a lot of plants, man. You got to take care of all those too. I can't take care of a plant personally. Any plant that I touch just like wilts in my hands. I don't know what that is. Is that like a genetic thing? Like, does anyone have like some scientific studies on why that happens? Because it's super depressing and it makes me sad because I can't take care of plants. And oh god, I'm rambling now just to fill up time. I don't know what to say anymore. Still working on the bar, as you can see. I don't know what I was doing. I was struggling. Oh, it's pathetic. It took me so long. This build took probably over 2 hours. It was a bitch, and that's the truth. Right now I'm trying to figure out how I want to decorate the rest of the area, because it is a sparse build, and most internet cafes don't have anything else in the surrounding areas, but I didn't want it to just look bare, because then it looks unfinished. So later on I do put in more seating, and I put in a bookshelf and stuff like that just to fill up the space. Your Sims don't have to use it. I mean, they will use it because the Sims are annoying and they just gravitate towards bookshelves, but it's just there for decoration, not necessarily for function. And this is whenever I decide to get rid of one of the counters. Thank God. Now I move things around and actually make it look more realistic. That is a blessing from above. I get rid of one of the bar stools because I felt like the one on the far end just didn't look right. Also, I added in a stereo on that spot where I took away the bar stool, like that final counter on the far left, because you need a stereo for the bar to function properly. So there's a stereo in there on that counter. If you don't like it, too bad. There's nothing I can do about it. What am I doing? More decorations, moving things around, looking at it, spinning. Okay, this is whenever I add in the bookshelf. Simple black bookshelf. I put in a little seating area over here just to take up that corner space with a little side table and a little rug. And I'm pretty sure I put in some comic book posters. Not comic book posters, movie posters. Or those game posters. I don't remember. I put in a lot of like comic book, game, superhero, movie poster stuff around because I felt like that fit with the vibe I was going for. And that's how most actual internet cafes are, or PC cafes are designed. And so I feel like going with that was the most true to... Oh, I wanted to use this little dude with little platter because I felt like it was really eclectic and kind of goofy. But I couldn't figure out what I wanted to put in his hand, so I just get rid of him. In the end, I just put this little thing in a poster and a plant, and that's pretty much it. It's not a spot where your Sims will congregate anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Another seating area, I put a little rug outside the staff area. Now we're working on upstairs. I was gonna put some couches, but in the end I just put in more computers and just want to take up the most space possible with the computers because that's the most important part of the Internet cafe is the fact that your Sims can use the computer. I also used a lot trait of fast internet, so your Sims like skills for internet based activities will go up faster, as it made the most sense. Me trying to shift things around, figure out what I want to do, like placing of things. This lot is pretty dark and gray, but I feel like the blue of the desk really helps out and really makes it look more vibrant, I guess. Your Sims can get between those chairs, so don't worry, they don't take up too much space. Your Sims should be able to shimmy on by and get out to the front porch area if they want to. I mean, I don't see why they would, but they can if they want. More seating. Just trying to fill up space, honestly. I mean, I'd been building this build for hours at this point, and I was so done with it. This is probably the biggest build I've done on this channel. And so you'll see towards the end, I'm just like, oh, copy and paste, another bookshelf, another console thing, chairs, ugh. It was getting to be a lot. Like, I was so tired at that point. It was ridiculous. This is why I don't do large builds. I only make small homes. I don't build large community lots. I probably won't build another large community lot for quite a while. I mean, I do have a lot of, like, ideas on my notepad. I write down ideas for builds on, like, a little notepad. I got quite a few, so get excited for some builds in the future. I haven't built them yet, but once I do, you'll be the first to know. Oh god, I'm just a rambling disaster at this point. I've been talking for how long? 21 minutes? Jesus. Oh. Okay, putting in more seating on this little spot. I did put a little nook like I wanted. Just a little bunch of chairs, and now I'm just trying to fill up that space. The area where I put that bookshelf right there, that is the area where the TV goes. I put the bookshelf on the opposite side in a second. That little chair is the exact spot where the actual TV is, so there you go. I don't know why I felt the need to tell you the exact spot, but now you know the exact spot. You're welcome. Just putting more seating, just changing the colors. I wanted to go for more of an eclectic, like, garage sale vibe, but it just didn't fit with what I was going for. So in the end, it's all pretty neutral toned, very brown, very black and white, very monochromatic, and very almost bland in a way, but I feel like it fits for the style of, like, get whatever you want. It's just going to be a spot where people sit down. Doesn't really matter. A little side table, a little lamp. This is the little nook area. It doesn't have a lot of decorations. Put some books on the floor. This building would probably also function as like a library, but I don't want a librarian running around and being annoying, so it's a bar. I wanted to put a little outdoor seating area up here. That's why I put the door out there. Little umbrella seating. There's no reason your Sims should sit out there, but they can. God, I'm going through puberty. I don't know why every time I record a video, suddenly, like, my voice decides to crack and I can't remember words. I swear I'm not like this in real life. This is the employee lounge area, even though there's only probably, like, one employee that works there from the bar. But if you do have get to work or whatever, you could probably change this into something else. I mean, feel free. And if you ever do change it, tag me on Twitter. My Twitter's in the description. Ew. Putting up more posters on the wall, plants, bookshelves. Yeah. The basic decoration option. Another little chair. My dog's barking. I'll get her in a second. I'm almost done. Little seating area for your so-called staff that don't actually exist unless you have get to work, as I literally just said 5 seconds ago. Decorations, coffee, microwave, dishwasher, fridge, because I didn't want to put a stove because then it didn't make sense. Like, most workplaces don't have stoves. They just have microwaves. Coffee mugs, paper towel, soap dispenser, little wall decal, and we're pretty much done with the build. Yeah, now we're on to the screenshots. This is what it looked like before, and this is what it looks like after. Very futuristic, very modern, very much what I was going for, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it's going to be a really beneficial place for your Sims to hang out in, and I feel like if you do enjoy it, that's cool. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just like, my brain is fried. These are some Sims chilling. They enjoy it. You should enjoy it. Yay! I don't know what I'm saying. I'm gonna go now. If you like this video and want to see more content from me, drop a like down below. It helps with the channel. And subscribe. The link for the download of this build will be in the description. And if you don't like what you see, like and subscribe anyway, just because you can. I'll see you guys in the next episode.